What's up, pilots? Today's video is going to be a discussion about Operation Rampage, an event-exclusive mode that was released just last week. I wanted to do a partial response video to Victor Valenwood's video about this mode. I will have it linked in the description below. Please check it out for full context and give him a like and subscribe as well. I wanted to just give a brief breakdown of what this mode entails. Operation Rampage gives a 15% overall damage increase to all strikers, plus 50% ground regen increase, plus 75% air regen increase, and a plus 25% weapon energy regen increase. It allows for faster respawn times, and it allows for a surrender, a group voting system that allows surrender, and you can switch strikers mid-match, which can also be done during casuals. The points that I want to talk about may have not been considered or spoken about in other videos, and I just want to make sure we cover all our bases for this type of mode and what sort of vision the devs have for us with these type of changes and the feedback we can give to them. So right off the bat, I want to point out there are some clear winners with this type of mode and these types of changes, and I want to pick the top three that stand out to me the most. First off, I want to go with Stellaris. Simply because this energy regen increase allows him to be more aggressive with his Assault Warblade projectile move that he uses. And that's big for him. If anybody has played Stellaris, they know that resource management is a big deal, and it seems like a lot of the time, unless you're top tier, trying to maintain or sustain your energy or maintain it during just a fight is really difficult, especially if you tend to spam that type of move. With this increased regen, then it allows him to engage more aggressively and get those kills, and basically allow just it raises the skill floor for people that like using him in that manner. The second striker that benefits greatly for this is Pinaka. This is in part because of the energy weapon regen is something that effectively affects him directly. Pinaka is a beast, honestly, when it comes to damage output. The spreader that he has, that projectile that shoots out multiple projectile, deals massive damage up and close. It's like a shotgun. So you're up close and personal, you're gonna shred these, big ultra heavy defenders, whatever they are, that just sit there, and they're not going to want to take hits from Pinaka. So you can get a little more aggressive with these, just kind of spam your projectiles a little more than you normally would, simply because you have the resources to do so now. That's a big one, and that's great for Pinaka. The third one's going to be a striker like Mecha. Mecha can now get more aggressive, pursue these strikers that he's trying to take down, regen energy faster on the ground in his tank mode that allows him to move faster. These are all big benefits, and he just happens to be he's not a heavy striker, but he plays like that. He has large energy expenditures when he's mobile, and he benefits greatly from this energy regen. He's primarily grounded most of the time, but now you can have pursuit of mechs, using your melee charge to close the distance between these mechs easier. Also, I wanted to, so that's the first point, clear winners about this mode. The next part is that something we should keep in mind is the way it was introduced right now is not the full picture. We've only gotten a 6v6 mode that basically just gives us a glimpse into how just mech on mech gameplay this portrays these types of changes. So we don't have the cart mode, the capture the flag style mode, the other modes that you have to cap points. None of these have the same weight. These are not going to have the same weight as just a straight brawler mode are, because this is a lot more methodical. These other modes are more methodical, a lot more planned out. How you engage the enemies is going to be a little different, as opposed to just a 6v6 full-on fight where you're just all gas all the time. At least that's how you want to be, because you can. That just kind of benefits you and the team. Being aggressive is good in this type of mode. In the other modes, not so much. You have to think about how to cap, where to cap, when to cap, who to send to cap, stuff like that. And just having increased damage and increased regen and all that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to benefit from that all the time, because you still have to pick your battles. Then we get to the engagement of the players for this mode. Some players just didn't want to touch it, and that's totally cool. The problem is that I don't know if the devs can get the data that they need as they're implementing these changes to help implement future changes or other changes to other modes in the future. They're relying on us as a community to enter these modes and gather the data that they get from these modes, along with feedback that we give them about what we like about these modes and that they may implement in the future. So it's important that if they want us to engage with this mode, there has to be some sort of incentive behind it for players that don't see any reason to do it other than just some Corite or tickets. Corite would be a great start, right? Just some in-game currency. Bot currency would just be a reward for, let's say, doing 5 matches for the new event exclusive, right? Or it could be something simpler, maybe a hairstyle. Do 5 matches and then you get a hairstyle at the end of it. At least this incentivizes in some way for people to engage with it. Of course, that only covers a certain, you could say, a certain type of player that likes the customization aspect, but that's up to the devs to decide how they want to engage with them or have us engage with these modes. And to round it all off, I just want to say that this is really all entirely subjective. The pace of the game, the preference for how fast you want the game to be, and the devs' vision for how the game how they want to see this game can all conflict with each other. Maybe it's not to your liking how these changes change the flow of the battle. Maybe you want to be more methodical about your approach to these fights. Maybe this mode just doesn't paint the full picture, as I stated. Maybe the 6v6 wasn't the way to implement these changes, or maybe they just needed to implement these changes along with the other modes to let us really get all the information that we need to say, yeah, this is the path we want to set forward for ourselves. Of course, again, if this is what they want as well, then I guess they just need more data, and they probably should have added the other modes. I don't see an issue with that. So regardless of why they decided to do the single mode, maybe just limited resources, as we all know, there's more hope in the future that they can add stuff like this. This was fun, regardless. I know it was not everybody's taste. I just like to see that they're trying to make changes or try to test new ideas, because this is exactly what we want to see. Not to be afraid of making changes and letting us basically decide how we want to structure this game. You know, we're going to try it and we're going to say we like it, we don't like it, we give the feedback and see what happens with that. But yeah, that covers all these points. Thank you all guys for watching, and peace out.